Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Ashtatrashta Shri Srimad Abhay Charan Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Nama Acharya Shahridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Arveta Gadadhara Shri Vas Adi Gaur Bhaktavrinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Radha Kund Shyama Kund Giri Govardhan ki Vrindavan Dham ki Mayapur Dham ki Ganga Mai ki Yamuna Mai ki Tulsi Devi ki Bhakti Devi ki Samaveta Bhaktavrinda ki Jai Nitai Gaur Paramanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 13 and text 45. Tasmāj jahi aṅga vaiklavyam ajñāna-kṛtam ātmanaḥ katham tvanartāḥ kṛpaṇā varterams te chamam vinā tasmāj jahi aṅga vaiklavyam ajñāna-kṛtam ātmanaḥ katham tvanartāḥ kṛpaṇā varteraṁs te chamam vinā tasmāj jahi aṅga vaiklavyam ajñāna-kṛtam ātmanaḥ katham tvanartāḥ kṛpaṇā varteraṁs te chamam vinā tasmāj jahi aṅga vaiklavyam ajñāna-kṛtam ātmanaḥ katham tvanartāḥ kṛpaṇā varteraṁs te chamam vinā vaiklavyam ajñāna-kṛtam ātmanaḥ. Varteraṁs vinā. Mataji? Tasmāt, therefore, jahi, give up, aṅga, O king, vaiklavyam, mental disparity, ajñāna, ignorance, kṛpaṇā, due to, ātmanaḥ, of yourself, katham, how, to, but, anāthāḥ, helpless, kṛpaṇāḥ, poor creatures, varteran, be able to survive, they, cha, also, me, vinā, without. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, give up your anxiety due to ignorance of the self. You are now thinking of how they, who are helpless, poor creatures, will exist without you. Purport. When we think of our kith and kin as being helpless and dependent on us, it is all due to ignorance. Every living creature is allowed all protection by the orders of the Supreme Lord in terms of each one's acquired position in the world. The Lord is known as bhūta-bhṛt, one who gives protection to all living beings. One should discharge his duties only, for no one but the Supreme Lord can give protection to anyone else. This is explained more clearly in the following verse. Hare Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada is explaining actually a very important point. It's one of the aspects of surrender. Now, we may be thinking that actually, no, I am the doer, I can give protection. Right? For example, as a parent, or as a husband, or a teacher, then naturally, no, we are responsible for protection. But sometimes it comes to such a great extent that we worry about maybe just the body. We try to develop overprotection, but that's also not healthy. So we have to figure out what is the balance. Now Dhritarashtra, he's worried about, okay, if I go, then what will happen? All his sons are gone. So what does he need to worry about? But at least, he has he is in possession, or he was in possession of kingdom which was the full earth. So, okay, you can say that he has something to worry about. Sometimes we worry about very like a pity things. What will happen to me? I have maybe 1,000 rupees on my account, and if I go, what will happen with that money? What do you care? No. You have somebody, then okay, they will get it, they will take care of it. But there is no need to be worried. If we are worrying too much, then the time of death comes and we start worrying, or we keep worrying about it, and then we have to come back and to solve our worries. I have heard that in Switzerland there's one bank in which they allow you to open an account, and you can get the money out next lifetime if you prove that it's you. So, how am I going to prove it, right? So it's a nice way to make money. So people worry. Or, other very stupid things is that people who worry about dying, then they promise you, they have technology, they promise you something we just call cryogenic. They freeze your body. And supposedly, that in future, you should be able to defreeze the body, and if you had some disease, then they can cure the disease. But you are dead. You are just preserved. That's all. There is no soul. It's just the body. But it costs a lot of money, so not everybody has so much money. So then they have also a solution. So if you don't have money to freeze the whole body, so then they offer you that just when you die, they cut off your head and freeze the head only. Because they promise you that they will stitch it later on to some other body, and then you can continue living later on. You have to spend a lot of money also for that. So, business is business, what to do. And what actually happened is that Walt Disney, when he died, he opted to be frozen. But then, he is frozen, so legally, then he was not declared as dead. And because he was not declared dead, then his relatives could not inherit the property. So then, by legal way, they made him die. So they defreeze him, and then he was declared dead. So they killed him, or what? But if it's about money, then you don't really care about, right? So, problem. So no need to worry about that. Now, what is actually the problem? What makes us worry about what we own, relationships? We develop so many attachments due to the false ego, due to the anāthāḥ. Then we develop some personality, some nature, and we get attached. We have desires. Due to the desires, then we feel, that's me. And even though I know the desires are not the greatest, but because of my desires, I behave certain way, and I have certain circle of friends, and I'm comfortable with that, and they respect me for what I am, and therefore I form a personality, and now it comes, give up everything. Give up your anāthāḥ. Give up your desires. Surrender to Krishna. Then what? If I do that, then my friends may not be my friends anymore. Then my relatives may not accept me as such because I change my personality. And fear comes. Do I want to do that? may be danger. Because if I give up, and I don't know anything of the spiritual life. I don't know. I have no experience, how to live with devotees. I don't know anything. So, will that be better than what I'm doing now? Maybe not. So fear comes, out of fear, then we are not able to, or with great difficulties, then we start giving up the desires. We start working on maybe this attachment, what I have, maybe this is not the best. Start thinking, but without good experience, without Akshaya Prabhupada, without the higher taste, it's very, very difficult to give up taste for the lower. That's the nature. So, and a devotee may chant holy name 10 years, 20 years, but he may not be willing to give up the attachment. So now what happens? The holy name is all powerful. The holy name, then one chanting of the holy name can purify the whole universe. But how is it that I'm maintaining my attachments even after 20 years of chanting? 30 years. Then it becomes very scary. So does it mean that the holy name doesn't work? Or 30 years I'm eating prasadam, but I'm still attached to what I was attached before. Why is that? Like we were mentioning the Ramanujacharya, eating prasadam, the fish, take the prasadam and then immediately, the Vaikuntha form, go. No attachment. But the disciples who eat the prasadam every day for so many years, still there. So they become jealous. It's all due to maintaining our attachments. So how does that work actually? You see, Dhritarashtra, he is maintaining his attachment as long as then Narada Muni comes, Vidura comes, right? They talk, and then he starts to putting the pieces together. Actually, I trust these people. They say like that, so then, they are right. So then I can safely give up my attachments. And then he will go. Or when you see, even when Tukaram Maharaj comes, right, the Vimana is right there, they see it, and they even are invited, but they don't go. It's very, very strong. These anarthas, which create the desires create attachment, they are so strong. We get so attached that even if we have proof, we have the evidence, we have it right here, but we will not go for it because we maintain some attachments. So Srila Prabhupada, he gave us the process. Why this sarana bhakti? Just do that. Chanting of the holy name, taking prasadam, loving relationships, exchanges among devotees. Enough. But with the proper consciousness. So what the consciousness should be? Now the attachments, they are there. We cannot really do much about it at present. But we are hoping that devotional service, the holy name, prasadam, sadhu sangha, then it will help us to take care of the attachments. But not until we maintain the attachments. We want the attachment. I said, I don't want to have any material desires. That's what we say. But inside we think otherwise. And Krishna, he is a Paramatma, is inside, he knows what we think. He knows what we want. So as long as we want to maintain the desires, Krishna, as a loving father, he will leave it. He will keep it. Only when we decide, I don't want that anymore. But not just saying it, but actually not deciding, doing. Then Krishna can completely purify our heart, but not before that. So when we decide, so either we are keep the attachment, or then we have the full detachment. Okay, now I don't need. It's like Dhruva Maharaj. Right? He was attached. He had the desires, and that's why he got tricked by Narada Muni not to chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and not through that then he performed devotional service. But it was Agyata actually. But he did it so perfectly because he had so strong desire to get what he wanted, that he get to see the Lord. And when the Lord appeared to him and touched him with his conch, then he forgot all the material desires. He got completely purified because he wanted it. Or did he actually want it? So, as long as we want to maintain, it will stay. If we develop desire, then to fully give it up, it will go. But in between, what do we do? How do we develop the detachment? So the process also works that when we are not attached to our attachments. So that means it's like a neutral state. It's a state that, okay, there is some gratification, something comes. It's without over-endeavoring, right? Some nice prasadam comes, so you just take it. It's not that you have to cook opulent food because nothing else you can eat. There's some nice prasadam, so you eat the prasadam and you can enjoy the prasadam. And there is some nice, simple prasadam. You take the prasadam, you enjoy the simple prasadam. You don't have to deny your senses that actually, you like the nice prasadam. You don't have to. But you should not over-endeavor to go and steal some prasadam and things like that. There is no need for that. So, as thing comes within the regulations, one should accept it. If they don't come, don't be disturbed. So develop ātmanaḥ. Accept things as they come. And sukha dukkha, right? It keeps changing. So don't be disturbed by that. And then you can live your life as dhira, undisturbed. This is the state when, so some nice prasadam comes, I enjoy it. I don't deny that I enjoy nice prasadam. Okay, but I'm not going to over-endeavor for it. And some simple prasadam comes, I take it, I'm very happy eating prasadam. There's no need to lament. In that state, then we are not attached to our attachments. And in that state, Krishna, as a Paramatma, he knows, if I take the attachments of the devotee, I take the anāthāḥs from his heart and I purify his heart, the devotee is not going to lament. That devotee is not going to be criticizing me. It happens. I have heard, and I'm sure there are at least few cases like that. It happens. There was an accident. You have two parents and a child going in the car. They ran into an accident. The parent survived and the kid didn't. It was a young boy. Now, what to think about? Whose fault this was? They were devotees. The Krishna, how you dare to take my child? it's the feeling which, why did Krishna take my child? It's his fault. We project that because of our attachments. But Krishna has his plans, no? Whatever. You maybe, well, why don't you say that you made a mistake? Why Krishna? So still the attachments were there, and it took the mother some time, but she actually realized that she was able to get over, and no, she was able to accept it. That's very, very important. Another example, we have Shantanu Maharaj and Ganga Devi. Now she is going, she gives birth to a child, she goes to Ganga and she drowns the child. And she does it 7 times. What do we think about? No, she would go to jail. Right? Because that's the law. We don't understand anything. We have no right to judge. What do we know? But Shantanu Maharaj, he gave promise. Whatever it is, he's not going to ask. But the 8th time, he could not withhold himself. He had to ask. And it was exactly according to the arrangements of the Lord. But we think that we are in control of everything. We think that everything goes according to how we want, so therefore it has to be the way how I want. And we don't accept that it may be some other way. We don't accept that it's Lord's arrangement. It's very difficult because God doesn't exist. Everything is by chance, everything is by, that's what people think. But for devotees, then we should try to understand how things are happening by the Lord's will. How is it when you hear the saying that without Lord's will, even the blade of grass doesn't move? What does it mean? Yeah, blade of grass doesn't move, but why did it happen to me? No. Maybe there was some reason why did it happen to you? Why don't you think like that? No. What caused, what did I do now or in past that caused me to happen to get such a reaction? No? Well, I don't deserve it. How do you know what you deserve, what you don't? So for devotee, when he learns to accept things as they come, without being disturbed, then he doesn't have to be disturbed. He can remain dhira. And in that state, then be able to not over-endeavor, and he just accepts things as they come. And when Krishna sees that state, he can purify the devotee. So we become Hari. Hari means he steals, he takes away. And he takes away from the devotee. We see in Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada explains, as a Hari, then he takes away the possession. He takes away relationships. Anything and everything material from the devotee. But because the devotee is ready for it, he doesn't lament. On the other hand, if the devotee is not ready for it, Krishna doesn't take. He just gives more. Okay, now here, play more. You have some time. Only when we become sick, then Krishna is ready. The devotee is ready, Krishna is ready. So that's the state which we can develop. not develop the not attachment to our attachments. Just let them come and go, whatever it is. Don't be disturbed by it. Don't hanker for it. Don't over-endeavor for it. Just okay, goes, comes, goes, and focus on chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Focus on eating prasadam. Focus on sadhu sangha. And especially exchanges among devotees. Darate pratigrihnati. Guhe makriti pijati. Bhungte bhojayate. That way then develop the higher taste and, okay, maintain the not attachment, and by the process, not anybody can get fully purified to complete detachment. And that's the state when one can develop the being humble, being tolerant, not expect anything for himself, but giving respect to all the living entities. And that means he can chant the holy name purely. That's the state we are hankering for. That's the state actually we should be hankering for. There's a state which means perfection. That means in that state we can start serving the Lord properly. This is the most important. That's what we want. But we may not know how to get it. So that's the process. We may not be able to get fully detached. We still feel some attachment. But don't worry about that. Just don't be attached to it. That's all. And that can be done in the association. So it's very, very important that we don't lament. Just take it and chant Hare Krishna and be happy, like Srila Prabhupada would say. That's the process. There's no need for anything else. Yeah. Well, you have any questions regarding that? Or not? It's too much. Is the mic?
धन्यवाद. हरे कृष्ण महाराज, दंडवत प्रणाम.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, each and every living being is having their own difficulties.
Yes.
So all these difficulties also, along with that, while we are chanting, there are so many anāthāḥs are coming in between, and our mind is speculating in different ways. And simply to say, the reason behind is that past karmas. So in fact, nothing is in the hands of anybody. Everything is the will of the God, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the case how the living entity is responsible for their activities as well as the attachments, etc.
See, there are so many anarthas in our heart. And some we are aware of, some we are not even aware of. Only when the situation arises, then we start to be aware of it. Oh, I'm attached to this. I didn't know that. Like small child, it's also full of anarthas, but we say children are innocent. But just wait till till puberty, and then you will see where is the innocence. The attachments are there, but they are dormant, because the body is still not matured enough. So it's just a question of time. So, now these anarthas, we can either try to work on them one by one. but it will take very long time. And guarantee that not all of them you will want to give up. Because the anarthas, like we spoke, we said that they create the desires which create your personality in this lifetime. Circle of friends because of your desires, because of your behavior. So to give it up, sometimes fear. So you don't want to. So if we work on it one by one, it's a slow process. And it's difficult. But if we shift our attachment to Krishna, then all these become unimportant. And when we develop detachment for the attachment, then the holy name can purify the anarthas. Just one chanting of the holy name can completely purify the heart. One crumble of Mahaprasad can purify the heart. As long as we are not attached to them. That's it. So, the process working one by one, difficult. So rather we should focus on, they are there, just acknowledge them, they are there, but I don't really care about them. But sometimes, something comes, you take the prasadam, you enjoy the prasadam, such a nice prasadam, and then just go on with your life. But don't get attached to it. Don't start over-endeavoring to fulfill your desires. If you maintain that, then the holy name can purify all the anarthas at once. So you don't have to worry about one by one. Like we said, what happened to Dhruva Maharaj? He had desires, but in a moment, he got completely purified. No trace of desires, nothing. So, that's what the holy name can do. Holy name is not different from the Lord. We just have to get our consciousness ready for it. As long as we don't want to purify our anarthas, then the chanting of the holy name will not help us that much. Somewhat, but not fully. Because Krishna respects our free will. That's the only thing which we have in control, under control, nothing else. So Krishna respects that. It comes from him. We are part and parcel of the Lord. So, as Krishna has the supreme free will, then we have a small little portion. We can also maintain some free will. But for Krishna, he has his energies, and as soon as he thinks something, immediately it gets fulfilled. When we think of something, nothing is fulfilled, right? No. It's just a thought. So it gets frustrating. I want this, but I don't have it. So therefore, start thinking about something substantial, what you want, what you should want. So Guru Sadhu Shastra says you should want Krishna. You should want devotional service. So when we start thinking, the moment we have no attachment to the material world, then the holy name purifies all the anarthas at once. No problem. It's the all-powerful, but he does it when he sees we are ready. Krishna, he is Bhakta-vatsala, right? He loves us the most. He is the best friend. So when we maintain the attachment, and he will come and take it away, purify us against our will. So we may be purified, but still maybe some thought can linger. I wanted to do something. I don't know what it was, but I'm thinking that I was going to do something, but I forgot what was it. That's not love. So Krishna, out of love, he will have us experience things such a way, so we realize, I don't want it anymore. All I want is Krishna. And at that time, Krishna will purify. So that's his loving exchange. He is waiting for us. When we ask for, Krishna will take away, he will give. Krishna Prema. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, he is very special. He creates a situation and he even takes away. But it's not against free will. He makes you understand that this is the best. Like Jagai, no? Then he purifies. No, Jagai didn't want to be purified. But then when they realize what mistake they did, then they were not attached to their nonsense anymore and be purified. So Krishna has his own ways. How he does it, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has his own ways. But it's always when you want. Otherwise, if you don't want to be purified, then nothing will really work. To some extent, some agata secret will be there. For example, like you can go to Govardhan, and you can do Govardhan Parikrama. And it says, okay, who does Govardhan Parikrama, then he will never come back to the material world. But you can go Govardhan Parikrama with some girlfriend and keep talking nonsense the whole Govardhan Parikrama. And is it the same as going and be fully conscious of Govardhan Parikrama? No. You were not there. Your consciousness was somewhere else. On the other hand, somebody may not get the chance to go to Govardhan Parikrama, somewhere in the West, some devotees, but they are fully absorbed in thinking of Govardhan. They are liberated devotees. Because in consciousness, they were there. So the state of consciousness. And the state of consciousness helps us, or to come to the state of consciousness, this is by association with devotees, sadhu sangha. So it doesn't really matter on the where you are. Of course, being in the dham is beneficial. But every temple is a Vaikuntha. Every temple is a dham. If you perceive it, if you want to perceive it. Otherwise, if you don't want to perceive that you are in the dham, being in the dham, you just make only offenses and then it's even bad for you. So that's how we can get rid of all the anarthas at once. So we don't have to worry about which anartha I have. Those are the attachments for the anarthas. We should start focusing on our attachment to Krishna. That's all. Same like, if you are hungry, focus your attachment or focus on eating. And don't worry about how do you get rid of hunger. Just by eating, automatically it happens. No need to worry. So the anarthas, no need to worry about which are there, this, that. Focus your attachment to Krishna, done. Yes?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Maharaj. Maharaj, thank you for your nice class, first of all. And I face problem to balance sadhana as well as seva, because being at dham, I do seva, but I face problem to balance and how to prioritize between personal sadhana and seva. And moreover, the health is the issue also to maintain. So please give your valuable advices, Maharaj.
You see, the minimum every devotee should follow as a matter of sadhana is chanting minimum 16 rounds daily and following the four regulative principles. That's our promise to our spiritual master. That's a must. Now, how do you do that? One should attend Mangala Arati. And ideally all the Aratis. Srila Prabhupada made the morning program. You come for Mangala Arati, then after that you have time for japa. Right? So then you can finish the minimum 16 rounds. And then you have Darshanarati. And after Darshanarati, then Bhagavatam. And after Bhagavatam class, then okay, you have breakfast. And after breakfast, then you go for your seva. What do you need to do? So that's for general devotees. Now, for example, the pujaris who are doing the arati, who are doing the puja, they cannot come. They are there for Mangala Arati, but they cannot do the japa that time. So many times, those devotees, they wake up earlier and they chant japa before. Or they chant japa after breakfast, when others are doing different other seva. So, see, varnashrama, it's very practical. It's not rigid, it's very practical. And Srila Prabhupada made it so simple. So then we just follow the morning program, and in the evening, Sandhya Arati, and reading from Prabhupada's books. But in between, then you can focus. You can go maybe for book distribution, or you can get into accounts working, or you can go for construction work, or you can go for preaching, or you can take care of cows. So you can do all that. But say, for example, cows. Then cows, they have to milk in the morning. That's your time when you are supposed to chant japa. So you chant japa, you don't care about the cows. No, you took the responsibility. So then you have to milk the cows in the morning. So either you get up before and chant the rounds before, or after you milk and you feed the animals, then you chant your rounds. So you have to see it very practical way how you can adjust the day, so then you can still fulfill the minimum requirements, but at the same time not compromise. So adjust and compromise are two different things. Like Srila Prabhupada, he came somewhere to Europe, and there was one devotee, and he was telling Prabhupada, "No, Srila Prabhupada, no, I wake up in the morning and I work so hard, and I actually work 16 hours a day. So now I'm doing so much of seva, but I get to sleep on 5 hours a day. So I don't have time to chant my rounds. No. So is it okay? What should I do?" And Srila Prabhupada just said, "Okay, sleep less. You have to chant your rounds. You have to finish 16 rounds daily." So we cannot justify that we are doing some seva, and because of that, then now we skip chanting rounds. No, that's a must. And in fact, waking up early in the morning, when it's dark, it's quiet, or we hear maybe the jackals sometimes, chanting japa, it's much more possible to focus on. It's much better. So at least some rounds you can finish before Mangalarati. And either you chant in your room or you come to the temple, because temple also opens from 4 o'clock, even before somebody else, devotee is already there, you can chant. So it can happen that you can finish many rounds before the Mangalarati starts. So that's all possible. But we have to very seriously look into how we can adjust our schedule without compromising the basics of sadhana. And that way then there is no any clash in between. So somebody finishes before, somebody finishes after, because somebody does a seva, and according to that we do. But we should not use excuse that we are supposed to do some service, but Prabhu, I didn't finish my round, so I cannot do the service today. That's very bad. No. We cannot do that. So we have to do our sadhana, and still we have to do our seva. And if there is some discrepancy, we don't know how to do it, then you ask. You have to specifically discuss with some devotees, Gomyakati Prichati. Just discuss it. You see, Srila Prabhupada also said, everybody has to come for Mangalarati. But there were some servants sometimes that they would have to take care of Srila Prabhupada's room during that time, because this is only when he is out. So they didn't have to come for Mangalarati, because that's what they are there doing, direct service for their guru. So that's justifiable. But then somebody says, oh, he's not coming for Mangalarati, so I also will not come for Mangalarati. That's bogus. So we have to be very careful. Yeah? Hare Krishna. Jai Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Nitai